Hey guys, how you doing? Facebook, the sofa page, and YouTube. If you are watching us on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that like button for your boy. Stop playing, because y'all know we be having these conversations going on here. We had a couple of guests coming on. Um, Dr. Tori had to step out. She won't be able to come on, but Mr. Tory should be on a little bit later. And give me one moment. So I'm just doing some sharing here. All right, let's see. What's the best way to share this? Hope you guys doing all right today. We're gonna play the intro in just a moment. So, like I said, just want to really just get these sharing out the way, because you know how Facebook just doesn't like me. Let's see what we got going on here. All right, we're gonna copy that. And so if I share from YouTube, it allows me to share it a little bit better. Let's see. And again, I hope everything is going all right with you guys. It's 8:01. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this intro, and we will be back with all the goodies. Wonderful conversation coming up, guys. All right. So, again, welcome to a great show. I am your host, Mr. Takeover, and you are sitting on the sofa, and we're about to have a real talk. It's another discussion that I don't think men pay close attention to, because we're too busy as men trying to expound on why we should lead and why we're so important and how we are providers and protectors, and that's pretty much it, right? So the title is Married Single Mothers. And you know me, sometimes when it comes to a show, we have a PowerPoint, but our co-host is coming up here. Well, hello there, Mr. Tone, sir.
What's up, brother?
Oh man, nothing much. Just basically introduce the title of the show, Married Single Mothers. But I shall give you the floor, my brother, so that everyone can know how amazing you are, what you do before we jump into this.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tone. I am a man. I wear a lot of hats. Father, husband, businessman. I mean, graphic designer. Me and my wife got a clothing brand, our own podcast, got a couples page, got a YouTube. We do a little bit of everything. Um, it ain't easy, but it's worth it, and that's the way we look at it. So
You are so right. Me and wifey just got finished talking to a coach earlier today about trying to get us on the straight and narrow so we can get everything pushing the correct way. Because I'm just lost on a lot of stuff. So they gave us a lot of information, and I think we're going to be great. So before I bring up the PowerPoint, Tone, have you heard like a sister, a aunt, a female friend that's stated in a relationship or a marriage that she just felt like she was single?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely have. That's why this topic really interested us. My
Okay.
wife ain't my other partner, or other half ain't here today. But that's the reason why I wanted this topic actually attracted us because I mean we've heard it before, and I think how it played out that it'd be me and you two,
So what was
people
your
to hear from a man's perspective.
what's your what was your biggest take from one of the people that you heard it from? Like,
I mean, honestly, it made sense because of how I seen their relationship. Even though they were in a relationship, it looked like they were single.
uh-huh.
Not based on their actions, but based on their partner's actions.
Now, was it just a relationship or was it actual marriage?
It wasn't a marriage, so I guess does that make a big difference?
Um,
Well, then again, actually, it was a marriage because it's more than one that I actually experienced growing up
right
and
now,
was around. So,
how the
yeah,
world is, I would say it really doesn't make a difference. Um, because a lot of folks that are in relationships, be in these relationships like 15, 16 years, almost like they married. So you might as
yeah,
well just call it what it is. But give me one
yeah. I mean,
second
like
here.
I was young, so it was. I didn't really think much of it, but when I think back now as an adult, um, like married single mother, that just that name itself is something that I just kind of noticed growing up as a kid.
So I had to put my headphones in. My bad. You were saying when you was young, what happened now?
I was saying, like, as you know, as a kid, I didn't notice, or really understand it as much as I do now.
Okay.
But when I think about it as an adult, when I look back, I witnessed it. You know what I'm saying? I'm married, single mother. Like, yeah, you're married, but it doesn't seem that way because of how the dynamic of the relationship was. You know what I'm saying? And you got children, but it's like you're raising the children on your own, even though there's two partners in the house.
Right. Have you yourself? I know a lot of women go through this, but have you yourself been in a relationship? And I know when we talked when we had you guys up for a couple on the couple series, you were letting us know about your child before your marriage. Did you find it like where you may have as a male been in a position to where you thought that you were in this relationship single wise?
Um, it's kind of hard to say in that relationship because it just in me, I'm one now to accept my fault, and
Okay.
I mean, I played a huge part in a lot of the stuff that happened.
Right.
Um, so, well, what I would say is that I didn't my goal wasn't, my intention wasn't to make her seem like a married single mother. Like even if our relationship was off, it would never affect what I did for my child and how I showed up for my child.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as the relationship goes, that was a whole separate story. But as far as being a married single mother or a single mother, period, she would never be able to take that title because I have always shown up for my child.
Okay. And I like that. And the fact that, again, you taking that accountability, something that a lot of men that I'm seeing on these apps refuse to refuse to do. So we are going to dive in this little lovely PowerPoint here. And I would say, after doing a little research, came across a couple of things and expectations. Almost a third, or 31% of married people 45 years older, old or and older, report being lonely, according to a 2018 national survey of adults conducted by the AARP. Now, and I say the expectations that we go in a relationship, where we come into a relationship with high expectations and what a relationship should be and what a relationship shouldn't be. So with your wife now, you guys have two kids. Um, Prior to the two kids, were there any expectations that she said, hey, and if any means that, when we decide, or if we just happen to just, get pregnant outside of when we maybe wanted to schedule it, did she have any expectations?
Of course. I feel like we both came in with expectations because she was
Okay.
actually, I mean, we were together when my daughter was like 1, 2 years old. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So her just, I think, kind of just seeing the dynamic between the parenting relationship that I have with my baby mom was like, that's not the type of relationship that I want to have. Like that's
Okay.
when it comes to our children. Like there's a certain way she had certain expectations of how we would parent together, how we would communicate and talk to our children. Like which I understood and I respected that because I mean I had expectations as well. So I think one of the biggest things that helped us is communicating those expectations to each other, but then also understanding that even though you have a lot of these expectations, that your partner may not always be able to meet some of them, and you got to go in understanding that and being okay with sometimes that some of your expectations may just be too high, and that's okay. I mean, you can't
Oh,
fault a person for not meeting
don't
your
say that
expectations.
now. It ain't too hot.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, my thing is, it's nothing wrong with having expectations, but
Right.
no person on this earth is going to be able to meet every single expectation that you have for them. And it's not fair to expect that from somebody else.
You're right.
Now, there are certain ones where I understand, like, okay, I got to make this is something that I got to change. I understand why you expect that. I respect that. But there are some things that, again, I just don't see how in my opinion, there's no way that somebody can meet all of your expectations as it relates
Yeah.
to a relationship, your children. So I mean, but to answer your question, yes, she definitely came in I mean, we both came in with our own different expectations as it related to how we would parent our children.
You're right. Um, Miss Evelyn says that I have thoughts. Miss Evelyn, you always have thoughts. I'm surprised that one sentence is just one sentence. So I was waiting for a paragraph. So I'm gonna wait for that paragraph to come next. um, Miss Jessica says, I'm learning something new. And you're right. Like expectations. I used to be that person where listening to the long list of women talking about this, that, which you still kind of got that still in the atmosphere where women have these expectations. And I personally, my personal opinion, I think some of the expectations that they're wanting, I'm not saying it is not feasible, but for the men that they're trying to get it from, it's an issue. Because I think women find that potential in men faster than a man finds, even though a man knows what he wants a woman to be in his life, but a lot of men are not looking at that potential side of that woman when it comes to an overall thing. More or less, that first part is kind of like a sexual type thing versus the woman automatically she sees everything. Oh man, oh he's capable of doing so much. He just can't see it. So let me go ahead and grab him up right quick. I told you Miss Whitney was coming with the paragraph. Here it is. Certain expectations may be too high for that person. Just because one cannot meet the expectation doesn't mean that they are too high in general. Same way, some women have a low bar for men's expectation in general. And it's pretty much just what I was stating. I don't think some of them are too high, Miss Whitney. I do feel where issue may come in is that the expectation is placed on the wrong type of man. And so those expectations don't get met, then they're looked at as being a failure of a man, or no good, and so many ways they end up staying and still trying to fix the project. Um, Tone, can you say, or would you agree that watching someone early in the relationship, if they have kids, how they take care of their kids, and if you should think about having kids with them?
Most definitely, you got to. You got. It's important. If you're gonna be in a relationship with somebody that got kids, you got to see how they
Right.
treat their children that they already have, because that's a clear sign that that's probably how they're going to treat their children when they have children with you. And I feel like, from as far as my wife goes, like she's seen the relationship that I had with my daughter. She's seen that like I'm a good father. I take care of her, feed her. When she would come with me, I wouldn't ask her mama to send nothing. I say, look, don't send nothing, just send her. I got
Yeah.
clothes, I feed her, read to her. I do all of, what I'm saying? This is the type of thing that my wife seen before we even had children. She seen the type of father that I was to my daughter. And don't get me wrong, I'm human and I was young. You know what I'm saying? I was 21 years old when I had my daughter. So it was still a learning curve for me. And
Right.
my wife has taught me even more. Like now I feel like I'm an even better parent because of my wife. So I think it's definitely important that if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody that has a child, it's a must that you see how they treat their children already and the type of relationship they have. Because I promise you, more than likely, that's going to be the same energy or type of environment that they create when it comes to y'all children. I honestly don't think much is going to change. So you got to definitely look out for those signs, accept them for what they are, and make the decision on whether or not you want to be a part of that.
Right. Okay. And I definitely I see that more than anything, and I I've failed so many times with my five kids, but I can say no matter no matter of my failure, no one can't tell me that I didn't try in the way that I knew how then. I know now that the trying that I did back then wasn't enough, and that my not having the knowledge of what a man has rights over his kids when not being married versus being married. And I just actually text that to my son. That's something that I need you to learn. What are the laws between not having being married and being married, because they're so different. A lot of men
Yeah,
still to this day are like older and still don't understand that laws are so different when it comes to having a child during marriage and having a child outside of marriage.
Trust
So,
me, I understand that because that's something like, I mean, that's something honestly I've been facing a lot. Basically, since my child was born, it's been like that.
yeah,
It's a difficult process. It's a difficult situation to be in, especially when you want to be present. That's what makes it more difficult and challenging. When you want to
yeah,
be present, I mean, you got men out here who run away from their children and their responsibilities, and
man,
then you got men who actually want to be in their children's life, and there are unfortunately some women who try to make it as difficult as possible, which I just don't understand. When you got this man who's willing to show up and be there for his child and wants to be present and wants to try to do the best he can, and it's like you and I guess as far as my last answer go, when I think about it, everybody has room for growth. We
yes,
can all get better. So I ain't gonna just say like if you see how a person treats their child because I've gotten better since I was 21 years old. Like my parenting now is way better now than it was back then. So I'm not gonna even sit right here and say just automatically just be like nah. Now it's certain flags you should definitely be like nah, but there are some where you got to just understand that we all got room for growth. So that even if somebody is parenting in a way that you may not see fit or how you would like your children, to be parents if y'all have children together, I guess that would be a conversation to say, you got to, when you talk to people, it's just, are people willing to change, to grow, to get better? And I think that's one of the most important things. If somebody's not willing to change or saying they just gonna keep doing things their way, then to me that's a clear sign that you should probably steer away. Because at the end of the day, like we all got room for growth. Every day, I just work on trying to be better as first an individual because I feel like in order for me to be better for my family, I got to be better and love myself first. And if I can't love me first, there's no way that I can give this love and appreciation to the people in my family
right.
around me.
Okay. So, to dive right into it, signs, you know, that women that you can come across, you feel lonely even when you're together. It feels like there is a separation between you that you don't know how to fix. And I kind of go back to that project. A lot of women find themselves in situations because of the potential that they saw in the man. And outside of going back to what we were just talking about, seeing that they did have kids and they didn't have no relationships with their kids, but now you have a child with them, and your expectation is, oh, they're going to be different. And so now you start seeing signs, and some of these signs tend to show themselves early, but we know people tend to kind of like look past the flags. But what do you think about that? It feels like separation between the two is just off. Is that normally a sign that you may have come across where you talk to someone and it's like I just don't feel like he wants to be around me?
I mean, I feel like like, at the end of the day, it's like this. If you feel something or some type of separation between you and your partner, I think the number one thing to do is communicate that to them. To tell them how you feel, regardless of how they may respond. You gotta communicate to your partner how you're feeling. If you hold it all in and you don't at least get it out there, then it makes it even more challenging. Now, if they're not willing to listen, then that's entering into a whole nother ballpark. But I think it's also sometimes important to seek help outside of just y'all two. Therapy is
Yeah.
important. Like
Woo.
I wasn't big on therapy at first until my wife like that was something that she an expectation that she had and something that she introduced me to. Because growing up, black kid from the hood, I ain't never. sat down and talked to nobody about my feelings. even, even every girlfriend that I've had before my wife, like I never communicated how I felt to them because I
Okay.
just, as a man growing up, I was always taught to just like hold it in. But it's
Suck
important
it
to
up,
let it
huh?
out. You gotta, yeah, exactly, like which is not how you really should do it. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to a relationship and you feeling separation, like I think it's very important to number one communicate with your partner. Tell them how you feel,
Right.
and don't go in and don't be upset if they respond or react a certain way. But you just gotta be able to get it out in the air, let them know. Then it's on their part to be willing to either change or be willing to seek an unbiased opinion from a therapist, somebody who can get down to the core of what's really making you feel that way and seeing if there's room to fix it. But if you're dealing with a person that's not willing to change, I mean, I get it. Like I know people be married for years and have children, and they be like, "Well, I'm gonna just hold on till the kids grown."
I
But at the
can't
end of the day,
stand that.
oh my God! Like, look, at the end of the day, if a person is giving you signs, clear signs that they don't want to change, they're not
Yep.
willing to work on y'all relationship or marriage, they're not willing to do what it's going to take to fix what's broken, then don't sit there and keep trying to hold on to it. I mean,
Right.
that's just how I feel personally. Like if both parties ain't say, okay, let's fix this thing. Like whatever we got to try, let's do it. Whatever we got to do, let's do it to make sure we get this union back together. But then you got this one side of it that's like pushing against it, doing everything to show you that they don't want to be a part of it. And
Yep.
kids are not married 50 years. Sometimes you just gotta leave. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say I hate to say that because it's the truth.
Ah,
Because
yeah.
because
Yeah.
then you are living all of that pain and hurt and misery is starts to wear down on you. Then it starts to put a toll on you mentally and on it. And then that starts to
Also,
turn
the
into
kids.
physical.
It goes to the kids
Huh?
too. It goes towards the kids as well.
Exactly. Because they feel all that energy. When
Hmm.
that energy is in that household, you feel it.
Or I've seen it to where it's been so disguised, and that the marriage is such a charlatan that where the kids don't notice until they're outside the house, and then they trying to figure out why mom and dad sleeping in separate rooms, or mom and dad got two houses separate from each other, and they don't know what's going on. So they're like blown away. I've talked to a lot of people like that. As
But
Whitney says,
they suffer, and I know I get it. We're trying to protect the babies. I get
uh-huh,
it, but
no,
you
don't do
can't sit there and suffer and use your kids as an excuse to suffer
it. Yeah, yep,
because that it's hard. I'm telling you, whether people believe it or not, when you're suffering internally and you're hurting, it's hard not to portray that energy on the people around you. You can be putting
yep,
energy to your kids and not even realizing it
yeah,
because of something you and your spouse can't fix, and now your children are suffering. And most times, kids ain't going. We as I know me growing up as a child, you don't really know how to communicate how you feel to your parents.
mm-hmm,
A lot of times, you hide it,
yeah,
so
yeah,
your children can be suffering and see
yep,
you suffering.
yeah. So Miss Whitney says, people get into sex before they even know how to have serious conversations about raising a child that shows up in their action. Ooh, you hit the nail on the coffin with that one.
It definitely did.
Ms. Jessica says, let me check my house for cameras. Y'all dead on it. Ms. Whitney also add, absolutely communication as well as children are not marriage glue. And
Amen to
you're
that.
so correct about that. Now, they don't talk to you or listen to you. And ladies, this in the form of the partner towards you, which makes you feel as though that you're single. Perhaps you feel like your spouse isn't interested in what you say, or maybe you just don't feel like telling them about the ins and outs of your day. In either case, you're not communicating, and it's leading to feelings of isolation and disappointment. So Tone just basically said how important communication is. And Tone, I think I mean, some cases, not all. You do find some women that try to do the communication, but again, the man is just, I'm in my own world, and right now, I ain't got time for kind of like how you said that, you was kind of raised with the no emotions type thing. A lot of men are to the point that, oh man, you talk about emotions. I ain't, if you ain't talking about the Georgia Bulldogs scoring a touchdown there, we can't talk.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, and that's some like for me that was a tough one because and I that's why I love my wife so much because she brought a side out of me that needed to come out of me.
Right.
And you know, people don't a lot of people don't understand, man, as a man, like when all your life all you told is like men don't cry. You tough, you strong, hold it in. Don't like that stuff take a toll on you holding all that stuff in, man. And like that's why a lot of times like you see people just break, but it's like you've been holding on to all this stuff and all these emotions for all your years, all the years of your life, because that's all you've been told. So me meeting my wife really helped me because she forced me to communicate.
Yeah.
It's like it was an ultimatum. Like, bro, look, we either gonna talk or this is not gonna work. That's that, and I think
Right.
sometimes some women are afraid to tell a man that. Like,
Yeah.
look, we either gonna communicate, get this thing out. You gonna tell me what's going on. We gonna talk to each other, or we just gonna go our separate ways.
Yeah.
And sometimes, men, we need to hear it like that.
I
We
was just
got
gonna say this
we
need to
need to
be.
hear it brutal like
Yeah.
that. Like, bro,
Yeah.
it either go we either go talk this thing out, or or we just gonna go our ways. Like, and one of the things that like we never go to bed mad at each other
I
ever.
like that.
Anything that we got going on, like we have an argument during the day or any type of disagreement or anything, we never go to sleep mad at each other. We never do, and we never take. Once we squash that argument, it's over. It's no. Once tomorrow come, ain't no talking about the argument that we had yesterday. We ain't bringing it back up. It's over. We've already discussed it. We spoke our piece. We communicated where we're coming from. We put each other in each other's shoes. We apologize and we move on. We don't wait 2 days later and start bringing up stuff that we've already agreed to part what to that we've agreed is settled between us.
So, would you saying that it's kind of like a side pocket of off the discussion that we're talking about? Going off of that, is it? Do you say that if a person continues to bring that situation up or an argument up, that mean that the first time that y'all call yourself saying it was over with, it really wasn't?
Exactly. It was probably like a I just want to hush you up, so I'm gonna just be like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Instead of it being like, all right, this is it. It's squashed. It's dead. And like, don't get me. I mean, that was something like I would do in the beginning of a relationship in our relationship. I would like try to just hurry up and just like, all right, you got it, just to like end the argument. But
Right.
that was damaging to our relationship because it wasn't really solved. It was me just trying to get her off of my back. So I would
Okay.
just agree with her or be like, yeah, you right. All right, you got it. You know what I'm saying? But now it's more me. I feel so connected to my wife and we communicate so much that when we do have arguments, I express how I feel, how I perceive things, and then I listen to her and vice versa. And we hear each other out. And that has helped us so much. It has brought us through so many hard times in our relationship. Not like no infidelity stuff, but just
Yeah.
arguments in general and just never going to sleep mad at each other. Like we never do. And I think the biggest part is us being able to just open up to each other and communicate. You know, when we have disagreements and arguments with one
And ladies, again, you have to know your worth. And like these signs are actually real true to a man or whatever your partner is at the time is not or is showing these signs. That's something to think about. Like outside of taking accountability of any things that you are doing or not doing that may be causing these things too, because sometimes we don't really look at ourselves.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that there's a high percentage of relationships where you find women that feel that they're single in a relationship, definitely with a man, where they're the problem. So the next time they find reasons to avoid their spouse. This might involve staying at work late, finding things to stay busy away from your partner, or simply scrolling social media to avoid interacting with them. Um, this here, I think, is probably one of the biggest killers when it comes to a woman feeling like she's alone in this whole ordeal when it comes definitely with taking care of the kids, where the partner can be home and they know the partner can be home, but the partner seems to choose not to be. And that's like extremely hard. Ms. Whitney says that she also added some women stay in a bad relationship for financial convenience, but blame it on being for the kids. Yes. Um, don't go to bed angry is a Miss Whitney. Now you know darn well me and my pronunciation is awful. You gonna sit up here and throw these big old words. Now I call you Dr. Whitney. Throwing these big old words at me. What that word is? Quote something paraphrase.
Why is it paraphrase?
Yeah,
Ain't it?
what Tone said. Uh, scriptures that say, "Let not the sun go down on your wrath." However, some issues are bad enough that pro, processing takes longer than 24 hours. The anger may settle, but that doesn't always mean the issue is resolved. This tool must be used carefully, as said, for it to be good tactic.
I
Okay.
understand that, but
Yeah.
I can't say we've never just personally from our speaking from our our relationship and point of view. I can't speak for
Uh-huh.
every other marriage and relationship. We've never had an argument where it took us that long to figure it out. And
Okay.
I'm saying that's just us. I don't know. We haven't had an argument about something that would cause us to be like still going crazy on it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Uh-huh.
we most of the stuff that we argue about a lot of times, it just be little small things for the majority. I mean, we've had a major argument before, but we still got it settled. So I mean, it's all that, and that's the only thing about it. It's like when you we all speak from our own perception. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So what I'm saying relates to my relationship, and I get what Evelyn is saying. In some cases, in some relationships, that may be the case, where some people can't. The anger is let go, but I guess whatever was done was so. Which I'm gonna assume that
Yeah.
infidelity is probably one of those things where, of course, you can't just resolve it after
Yeah,
having
because you have some
having
people
a
that keep,
conversation.
yeah, they keep going. It might be with a different person, and they be like, "Oh man, that's old." Man, regardless of it being a new person, it's still the same thing.
So like I get it in those type of situations, but that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. We haven't been through those type of circumstances in our relationship where we couldn't resolve it within that day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we've never had a situation where we couldn't fix whatever problem or whatever disagreement we had in that day. Now again, with the infidelity and all that, I know I'm sure
Yeah.
that takes time. It ain't
Yeah.
no just getting over that after one
Right.
conversation. Sometimes
Right.
that
Right.
never takes place. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely get what you're saying, but I'm just speaking from my relationship, what I've experienced with my wife and partner.
Yeah. So that actually kind of segues into this last one, which I think is very big and kind of look past. I personally feel in a lot of relationships, even to a degree where even if it's known, instead of walking away, you do have some women that are now going into that stage of if he can do it, I can do it better. So you rarely or never have sex. Not only is your relationship lacking emotional intimacy, but you're also lacking physical intimacy. Ladies, this is another sign to where there may be something wrong. And if you're not telling your partner, well, I'm sick, I got some stuff going on down there in another region and we can't do anything, but then your partner, because a lot of women know that their partners are like extremely sexually active. And so they go from extremely sexually active to just no sex at all. So now I can understand how you start wondering, what's going on. And even if you're saying, hey, is it me? Do you not like me? And so um, I was on the other end of that. I was actually, in my previous marriage, I was the male that was getting that from the female, where she pretty much had just clocked out and got her another boo. And it still for me, um, I I was that project person that tried to fix and tried to figure out, hey, what's wrong? Let me try to fix what's going on so that we can kind of save the marriage. Because I never really want the title of divorce, but after 8 years of putting myself through agony, I had to understand I'm doing this to myself. And like you were saying earlier, at some point you have to walk away because one, kids are involved. And if they're at a younger age where you can step away and kind of save some of the turmoil the kids go through, um, it's a great thing to do, ladies. Again, I don't promote leaving if it can be saved, but like Tone said, and I concur with that, it has to be from both sides though. You can't sit up here and be like, "Oh, I'm the only one going to get help," and you have all these men that sit up and like, "Ain't nothing wrong with me. You can go to counseling. I'm good." You can't do that. So some men tend to ignore the mental strength it takes to be a woman who doesn't have a partner coming home to help. On the days when the kids are fighting and the food is burning, she hopes dad will be home soon to distract the kids and in which would provide her some peace. Even with single moms, men don't understand. They have moms have to physically and mentally brave parenting alone, and that takes a ton of strength. So, like, definitely on TikTok, the men on TikTok now is like women are a liability. They don't know what they're doing. Their job is to stay at home and take care of the kids.
Oh my
And
goodness.
and my
That
thing
is
with
a
that
weak
is it's still a job. And
that's
so
a
at
weak
some point they need a
man is
break.
what that is.
Right.
That's
So
that's what it really is. That's a weak man. Because at the end of the day, and you said it, and I think that's where a lot of people go wrong in life in general, is they don't look in the mirror first. Because it always starts with you. It don't matter. You gotta look at you first. What it first of all, before you start pinpointing what everybody else is doing wrong, look at yourself first. Figure out what you're
right.
doing wrong and what you can correct. Then you can look at things outside of yourself. But that's just a weak man. At the end of the day, me and my woman, we work together. We're partners. We got in this as partners. I cook for my family. I give my children baths. I read stories to my kids. And every day before I go to work, you know what I'm doing? making my kids lunch for school, getting their school clothes ready while my wife and children are still asleep, making sure that when I leave this house, that it's my wife is set up. All she has to do is get the boys up, feed them breakfast, get them dressed, and they off to school. She ain't got to worry about packing no lunch, taking out our dog, none of that. I make sure that everything is how when she wake up, house clean. So when she get up in the morning, she ain't got to worry about nothing but just making sure the boys get to school safely. And that, to me, is not just me
Yeah.
because I know who I am internally. I
Yeah.
want to do these things. It ain't even just to satisfy my wife, or it's because I know how I'm built inside, and I know the type of man that I am, and these are things that are important to me. And there are some men out here who living in the stone ages, man. They think all women's supposed to do is cook and clean and take care of the children. Nah, you help make them children. You
Right.
part of the process of creating them. You in this relationship too. So you got to see your partner as an equal, and there gonna be times where it might be 70% my way, it might be
Right.
30% her, or it might be
Right.
80% her way, 20% mine. But that's a part of a relationship, and you have to go into a marriage and parent in the right way with your partner, knowing that there are going to be days where somebody got to take a little bit more of it. And I'm totally fine with that. I don't care if somebody call me suck or whatever they want. Yes,
Oh no,
I'm
man,
I'm
because
a man
I'm
who
a
cooks and cleans, and I've stayed at home with my kids.
right.
I've been a stay at home father.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I know what it's like to be home with a toddler and an infant by yourself all
Yeah.
day.
It is
It
not
ain't
a
easy.
easy. It is not an easy job, bro.
So kudos to all the women out there, and even the
Right.
men who doing that, who are stay at home parents, because it's challenging. So and I know it sucks even more when you have a partner and it still feels like you're doing it all by yourself. Like
Yeah.
I know that can suck. I know that's challenging. I know that's irritating and that's frustrating for you not to be alone and to have a spouse and a partner, but you still doing everything by yourself, cooking and cleaning, and I think and it's funny because I was thinking about this today. Like a lot of times, men, I ain't gonna say we because I ain't part of that. Feel like if I'm bringing in the money, then that mean I don't have to do all of these things. Like you should make sure the
Right.
house, you should make sure the kids, because I'm the one who's bringing the bread home. But uh, that don't matter to me. It don't matter
Yeah.
how much bread I'm bringing home. I'm still gonna be a father to my children. I'm still gonna take care of my household.
You know what that is, and a lot of men are not going to agree. But I'm gonna be a bearer of bad news to men that do come across this because I'm going to chop the heck out of this and post it heavenly. Um, you spoke about the Stone Age. The Stone Age even then was a piece of crap, and you just amplified how crappy that was because again our mindset is I'm a provider and a protector. So that means all the other stuff there's none involved. I don't do that stuff. That's her job. She's supposed to do that. But we fail to realize as men, if we want to sit up here and call ourselves, well, we're gonna teach a boy how to be a man, that's still considered nurturing. You might not do it in the correct way because you're pretty much producing another you, but still you teaching that child is still a form of nurturing, and both women and men they nurture, they have that ability to do so. And I like what you're saying about your situation with your wife now, regardless, and I'm the same way with mine, regardless of who's making what. um like this morning I came downstairs and with you, like pretty much kind of like we said, I made them breakfast this morning before they went to school. I'm hands on. I is I think it's a plus that I like kids in general, but I love my kids. So, I go outside in the neighborhood, which I have with them going outside. I've been and I played with the neighbors' kids and stuff. We like in our apartment complex, we've set up volleyball or we played baseball with them and stuff. And I think what that allows the kids to see is that camaraderie between both parents, and it is okay to have what society has created roles to be switched or be played different. And I just don't I just don't get it. This video that I'm about to finna post, I mean well finna play, it's cringy for me uh because it's it's funny how I found it. I found it by finding somebody else talking about the same topic, and this came up. So I went on TikTok to download it, and the dude, after the person played it, his response to the video was, "Oh man, this is a bunch of crap. This is a farce. She's delusional." So ladies, if you're watching and if you haven't seen this on TikTok, comment and let me know. Me and Tone know if you think this delusional when with her talking about this. And you too, Tone. Let me know after you see this, bro. You ready,
All
man?
right. Yes, sir.
Married women are single mothers?
I don't. But whoa.
Get into
How?
it. Get into it. Get into
Married
it.
women are single? How does
But
that
she-
work?
I'll give you this explanation.
Okay.
I'm not, because me and my husband actually work together on raising our kids. But there is plenty of households where a woman is solely responsible for raising kids,
And
and
that's
a
who-
man don't give a
I
fuck.
agree.
And you define those women as single mothers.
A married woman that's a single mom, yeah.
I
I mean,
Niggas
it's legally,
niggas off.
yeah, legally no.
Yeah.
But in reality, if you're a man, and I mean, your household run how your household run. But if you can't help your wife or your girl out with the kids, and you know she need a break, or I saw a video of a girl, breastfeeding, and she was dozing off breastfeeding. The boyfriend was recording her. Look at you being reckless. Da, 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 da. Why wouldn't you just grab your baby? Baby, go lay down for a second. You tired?
Now I get you when you
Because
say that.
she's
Now,
a
that's some
single mom.
shit.
But you
Now,
know
there
what?
go.
Personally,
Next caller.
I potty train my.
I like, and so after the video ended, just like that, the dude was like, "Oh man, I'm tired of these women, man. They delusional. They delusional. That's what they supposed to be doing."
And that's, I mean, honestly, that's probably how he was raised. A lot of times it comes down from generations and generations. Like a lot of men grew up seeing that. You know what I'm saying? But me, I'm a thinker of my own because I kind of, well, no, I honestly I really didn't see that. Like the couples that I seen married, they work together. I mean,
Yeah,
that's just the truth. So
yeah,
I didn't experience it, but I think most men have been in households where they probably seen their dad or father figure like, nah, I go to work, I get the money, your mama stay home, take care of the kids, cook, make sure everything clean. That's her
yeah.
job. That's what she's supposed to do. I'm gonna say this to hell no, that ain't my wife. My wife would go get her, she a hustler, she make money too. We work this thing together. We both
Yeah.
made these kids, so we both gonna take care of these kids.
Yep.
And that's just the God and the truth. We both live in this house. We both gonna clean this motherfucker. We both like to eat. We both gonna cook. Ain't no rules. It's not no. We don't live off of the roles that society done created us for people because that ain't got shit to do with us. We live based on
Right.
how we want to live and how we feel internally and how we want to build our marriage and relationship. So to the man or men who out there, bruh, I don't care how y'all feel about me and mine. Because guess what? My children are gonna see what it's like to be a real man, a man who can go out and bring home the bread and still come home and be a father and a good husband and treat his wife with respect and dignity and love on her in front of his children and love on his children and cook and clean and still go out and get the bag because that's what I do. So
Right.
just
Right.
because I make money, though, that don't change my responsibilities.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I get what she's saying. She's telling the truth. There are a
Yeah.
lot of married women who are single mothers. It's a
Yeah.
lot of them, a
Yeah.
whole lot of them.
I can I can I can throw my growing up under the bus. It's pretty much that's all I saw my dad do. Go to work. My dad came home. Um, that's it. Yeah, he outside worked on cars. He lallygag with friends, went to parties and whatnot. His friends come over. I rarely saw my mom have any friends or go out. Therefore, a period after my mom was stricken with cancer, and she practically was on her deathbed, but miraculously, doctors saved her, gave her three more years. Um, they did change their dynamic a little bit. They started going on vacations for a brief moment. It happened for a spell, but then something traumatic happened in my dad's life at some point. Not to get in great detail. Then he just reverted back to the dad that I grew up with.
Yeah.
I was happy for my mom, even though we were out of the house, to have this man that she always wished my dad to be, just for my dad to go right back to the person that I personally feel like she should have left. Um, and so when I heard that video, even before the dude made the crazy response, it definitely made sense. That's what's going on. That so many women are out here, and men can't understand. Like, dude, and not to bring up the bitter word, what do you expect? Cause you're woman hopping for one thing. You're bringing out five, six, seven kids and leaving the the lady with the kids, and she's by herself, or she's married and she's getting a divorce, and she's sitting up here want to take you for the whole thing. Uh, I don't understand where we drop the ball at when we feel that our kids are, one, emotionally not our responsibility, coupled with the person that we had the child with, and physically. And it also goes to what you were saying about, I've been in a relationship where the mom stopped me from talking to my kids and prevented me from talking to my kids. Situations like that, um, those are totally different. And guys, we're just speaking to women when it comes to uh, ladies. Pay attention to the signs. Don't lower your worth. Don't jeopardize the integrity of your relationship with your kids by trying to hold on to their dad. It's just like, these are my step kids, but I still teach them and care for them as that they are my own. And they know that. They can feel that. I can't be in a relationship with their mom and not see them like that. So a lot of men out there doing that too. Um, and I just feel sorry for her. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this discussion. And I do like the fact that you came up, Tone, because like you were stating before earlier today, cool that two men are actually talking about this, because men are more the reason why these women are feeling single.
Yeah. And I mean, I
So
know it's some relationships are different. So
yeah,
there are women who are okay with that role, or who want to take on that role, or okay with that. That's different than what we talking about. We talking
yeah,
about women who don't want to be put into that box, but are kind of put into that box because she's dealing with a like Evan is saying, a weak
yeah,
man.
yep.
I
She
mean, that's what
stated
it
that.
is. And I was
I
saying, it's a man. I think it's a man's mentality. It's the way a lot of men think. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of men are just weak mentally,
yeah,
and I I feel like sometimes weak people try to prey on other people who they perceive as weaker than them.
yeah, and
But the truth
that's a
is,
lot
man,
of men.
exactly. So I mean, for me personally, I'm just all about getting better, mentally, internally, because that's what's helping me be better for my family, for myself, and for people around me.
All right. So on our way out, we try to see once we come up with an issue, we try to solve it with changing the narrative. If, well, not if, what narrative could you present in a situation like this for women that find themselves in any form of relationship, whether it's marriage or just a long term relationship?
I would say it starts in the beginning before you even get to marriage, first of all.
Yeah.
But if you're already in marriage, then I'll get to that one. But it starts before. You gotta. It's like I was talking about signs. You gotta ask certain questions. You gotta ask the difficult questions. A lot of times people see the signs, but they'll overlook them or won't ask certain questions because they're afraid of the answer. They might get the answer that they don't want, but they love or like this person, so they
Hmm.
won't overlook it. But it starts in the beginning. You gotta ask tough questions, like in it from the
Yeah.
jump. Like, all right, look, how do you feel about cooking and cleaning, and you going to work, but you still come home and help me with the kids. You take the kids when I'm feeling tired, and it's like you ask a person these things up front so you know what you're getting yourself into. Now, if you're okay with a man saying, I see you as somebody who's gonna stay home, cook, clean, and I'm gonna go work. If you're okay with that, then
Yeah.
yeah, that's a different thing. But it gets challenging when you marry because, like you said, like the thing that was holding you back was trying not to get that divorce title under
Yeah.
your belt. So when you marry, of
Yeah.
course, it's more challenging because you made this vow to each other, um, like this sacred vow, and you don't want to break it,
Yeah.
even though
I
you're
don't.
even though you're broken, you
Yeah.
don't want to break it. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
right.
So like, I feel like it just all to me, it all goes back to communication. Like as a woman, if you feel like you're married, but you feel like you're a single mom in your relationship, like you're the only one putting forth the effort, then you have to communicate with that person, with your partner. And now I'm telling, like I know, like again, people, you can't break yourself trying to hold on to something else, like because it's going to damage you in ways that you're not going to be able to
Mm.
bounce back from. And then now
Yeah.
you wait so long that you can't even escape, like you stuck and just keep getting wrapped tighter and tighter, and before you know it, like you in so deep, like it's like you just don't even feel like yourself. You're not even. That's what. And it's funny. It's not funny, but you see how different people are when they finally decide to break away from bad relationships. How they
Yep.
energy change, how much they light up,
Man.
how
Yeah.
different their attitude and energy is. Like it's night and day.
Yeah.
And there, those people, you have to be strong to do those things. And I think a lot of it, why people are afraid to sometimes leave. And I'm not trying to promote to leave your marriage, but there are times when you gotta leave your marriage. I
Right.
get it. I don't care about the divorce title because a lot of that is just about thinking about what people gonna think about it. Oh, they was in this long relationship, now they
Yeah.
divorced. That's all that's running through most people who about to get divorced. Mind is
Yeah.
what somebody else think outside of their marriage, who ain't in that marriage experiencing what they going through, who ain't being treated like them, who don't know what it's like to go to sleep next to a person who ain't trying to fix your relationship, who ain't showing you love, who ain't helping you out. People outside of that don't know what that's like. But that's
Yeah.
crazy that that's the first thing that comes to people's mind when they really get divorced. I ain't never been divorced, but I can guarantee you that most people who are leaving long-term relationships or getting divorced, they start thinking about, man, how is this going to look to everybody else?
Yeah, mine was just plain old my vows. I really wanted to honor my vows. I really wanted to work it out, even though I knew she was going out to being with someone. I was like, if we can figure out what's the purpose of you doing so, then maybe we can fix the situation. But once I found out that our marriage really didn't have anything to do with why she was going out, and it was something doing dealing with her, I it was a battle that I couldn't help her win, and being in that marriage was only going to torment me more. And I had to make that tough decision and say that, hey, uh, try my best to co-parent with you with no problems, but outside of that, we can't be in a relationship.
And
Um,
that's something like I wonder, like, what is it in and I get it. You just they gonna say love and children, but I wonder what it truly is inside of a person that makes them hold on to something so tight, even though it's literally ripping them apart.
well, I can give you an example with me again. So we talk about being a male and how society perceives us, and we're supposed to be breadwinners. We're supposed to be protectors. Me, with my illness, sometimes I was getting becoming paralyzed. Sometimes I could barely walk. I had a cane. I had a walker. Was almost in a wheelchair. Um, Child support from my other kids was taking majority of my money. So my thing was, even though I saw her going out to be with someone else, I mean, to the point that she traveled across the whole United States to be with this person. What am I going to do? Society tells me if I leave this situation, I got $430 a month coming to my account. Matter of fact, even on top of that, I got erectile dysfunction going on at that time. What woman gonna want a man like that? Like, that. Oh man, I gotta take care of him. That's what was popping up in my head. So now I'm like, dang. Even though I know with my MS, me staying in this situation is gonna cause me more problems, which it did. I still can say that I kind of got a place to stay and I get to see my son on a daily basis. So I put that in my head and it allowed me to stay longer than I should have. And that's why I tell people once I tell them what happened, the first thing that we want to say is, oh man, why, you know, why you why you did, she wrong. Nah, the very first time I would say that was effed up. But the rest of them 8 years, that's on me. I have to take that responsibility. Now, I can't say what's going on with other people that they stay in, especially with women. Sometimes, again, I, there are things that goes on that they see. Um, their parents staying longer in relationships, and they know that the relationship is bad. So now I got to tough it out in my marriage because my mom them did. I hear this a lot where people are like, I want a marriage like my grandma or like my parents 50 years, but they're roommates. Why would you want that? I'm looking at the number 50 years. I don't want to be 50 years with no roommate.
No, I understand that. And then that, and it's like you bring in everything that comes with that, like all the negative energy. Like that stuff literally people don't understand that takes a toll on your body physically. Mental mental stuff kills you quicker than most other things. Like it literally
Yes.
eats your physical body parts up. So like,
Yeah.
man, I don't know. I'm not gonna say that I get why people stay because for me personally, if I just can't because I tried to do that with my first relationship and started using my child as a reason why all right, I'm gonna try to make this work. And you know
Yeah.
what it did? It made me hurt. It made me like even worse. Like
Yeah. You become bitter.
I became depressed. I was unhappy because I was
Yep.
forcing myself to stay in a situation that deep down within myself, I was talking to myself because at the end of the day, you can't lie to that person inside of you, telling
Yep.
that I don't want to be in this relationship. I really do not want to be in this relationship. I don't want to be in this relationship at all. I'm unhappy. I'm depressed. Every time I'm around this person, I'm not. There's no joy. It's nothing. It's no energy. It's no flame. It's nothing. But I'm gonna force myself into this for my child, and that man, that tears people up. I know what it did to me, so I can
Yep.
only imagine what it's doing to a person who's staying 30, 20, 30, 40 years
Yep.
when on every day on the inside they waking up like, why am I still here? But they won't leave because of X, Y, Z.
Yeah. So, um, let's see where we were. All right. So the cap off, I posed a question um on TikTok about are you married or in a committed relationship but still single? And most women responded. And it's funny that you stated 30 years. We had one person say married 30 years, has been acting single the entire time, wore no ring, allowed no pictures, plays golf 12 hours a day every week and out the work. So basically, her man just for the past 30 years barely came
So
home.
he married to Casper because he's a dope. He out of that. But that see, but see, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like that is a clear sign to go live your. You finna sit here and and you get one life to live. That's it. That's it that we know of on this earth. You get one.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know what happens after you go. So you get on this earth. You get one life to live. You gonna sit and be miserable while your husband gonna play golf for 12 hours a day for 30 years when you could have been out here living your life. And I ain't saying living your life and being with. I mean, you could have found your soulmate and a man who gonna treat you the way you want to, but just being happy and joyful. Like it's just crazy to me, man, that people I think also part of it is taking life for granted
Yeah.
sometimes because it's like, why would you sit? I'm saying in her situation, for
Yeah.
30 years, this man ain't sure. You basically in a relationship with yourself.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
it sounds like that might be one of those situations where it's a financial thing.
You might be right. Ms. Whitney says people need to redefine the term broken home. A stable single parent is healthier for a child than a dysfunctional couple who fights or are toxic to each other. Miss Whitney, you are
Oh my
so
goodness. That is on
correct.
point. That is on point right there. Oh my goodness. That is a beautiful way to put it. And that is so true. It is so true. It's
Yeah,
so true. And then it's like me having young children is like these kids soak up everything. Like
bruh.
they like little
Yes.
sponges. They soak up everything. They listen it and they more importantly they watch it. They
Mm-hmm.
watching how y'all respond to each other, how y'all speak to each other, the energy y'all bring around each other. These kids are they watching that. So that makes a lot of sense. Look, if I gotta be single and happy and joyful so that my child can see that peace and love and joy, than be in a messed up marriage or relationship where we arguing and our children got to hear this, see how we don't truly love each other and we doing all these different things. Like I would rather just be on my own and just be the happiest dad in the world.
Man,
Dang,
we have
that was a beautiful way she put that one.
we have one person said that's me, as in now present. I've been like that for 18 years, but no children. And I that's when it becomes hard for me. You ain't got no kids, so for me, that's a that's an easy out. But again, now you have to wonder
What
why.
is it? Yeah,
Yeah,
see, and
what is it?
that's the question that always gonna come up. Is like, what is that true reason of what would keep hold you for that long? Like, and I don't know, and I understand that everybody has different reasons of why they want to. I mean, I feel like most people probably truly love that other person and they want to try to make it work, but at the same time, you it got to sink into your mind that okay,
Yeah.
I don't care how much I love this. All right, hey, this is over. I don't care how much I love this motherfucker. I got to go. Hey, I got to go. For my own sanity and peace, I got to get out of here. I don't care how much I love you. If you,
Yeah,
because clearly you don't love me the way I love you.
yeah,
So why am I gonna keep trying to give you all this love and you giving me, straight BS? You got to
yeah.
it's and I feel like a lot of it stems from our ancestors and just generations of what has been seen. When you grow up and all you see is people being together 30, 40, 50 years, and you
Yeah.
feel like you have to take on that. Like you feel like, oh, you if you get married, you better never get divorced. Okay, so you telling me if I get married to a person and they show me one side of themselves, we married, we loving each other, all of a sudden this switch flips, and they just shut down on me. You want me to stay in this
Yeah.
for what
Well,
reason? To be able to say that I stayed married?
well, most of that is because definitely in our community, uh, a lot of people aren't teaching women that hey, that option is there, and don't be coming from a Baptist slash Christian family because, like you said, you having a divorce title, they're gonna start looking at you like you're crazy, and they know darn well that their marriage is awful and misery. Uh, they enjoy company, and so I'm miserable. So you finna stay in your marriage. You can't divorce. You know what I'm saying? But that's something we teach for real. Like men, we're going around and teaching our boys to go hump around, but we telling our girls that they got to keep their legs closed
Exactly.
and or stay in the situation. Not all men when it comes down to their daughters. A lot of men are like, hey, if the man, boy, whomever is mistreating you, you need to get the heck on. You do have that, but in a lot of cases, a lot of men aren't there. So these girls are just becoming women and going off of what they're seeing at home. Like you said, they're sponges. They're soaking this stuff up in.
And
And
social
Lord,
media
no,
too.
man, I was gonna say, Lord
That's
knows. Yeah.
social media done ruined the game for children. That's basically
What?
what's raising a lot of people's kids.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
be honest with you.
And so, Tone, man, I appreciate it, dude. Cause I'm gonna be honest, I have a lot of men that I've reached out to, and I hate to call them out and say that when stuff like this needs to be talked about, a lot of men run because one, it makes us look bad, and we don't want to say, "Dang, you know what? I need to be doing better." And I appreciate you for the growth that you've done and I admire you guys. I watch you guys on a daily basis. I'm waiting for you guys' new season to pop up too, so I can binge listen to you guys. Um, but I definitely admire you because I see the same values that I have for myself, for my wife, in you, and I give any man his flowers for doing that, regardless if they don't have kids or not, or even if they don't want kids. But just the fact that you hold your wife not on a pedestal egotistically, but on a she's worth it, you know?
Hmm.
So I really appreciate that. I appreciate you coming up. And you got anything coming up in the near future you can
Yeah,
tell
we
everybody
do.
about?
You brought up the podcast. It's coming soon. We just revamping some things. We
Okay.
Because we switching it up, the whole look and feel of it. We wanted to,
Okay.
all kind of each season. We just getting better and better and learning.
Right.
That's that's life. You learn, you get better. Um, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Whitney. But yeah, just
No.
even you, man, you influenced us in a way that you didn't even realize. Like we got all of our episodes for the season already ready. Our first two
Okay.
seasons, we was literally coming up with the episodes the week of.
Okay.
So it was basically just like, all right, what we gonna talk about this week? You know what I'm saying? So we super excited. We separated the page. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but we
Yes.
got
Yes.
actually. So we're gonna have that's gonna be strictly just straight podcast content. It should be here. I would say probably the next 2 weeks we'll start getting the episodes pushed out. and start
Okay.
really pushing out the content, start growing that page separate from what we do with our our funny videos and relatable content
Right.
videos. So that's really the biggest thing that we got coming up, man. And we super excited. Um, so we got a set amount of episodes, but a little thing we're gonna do is do like quick 5 to 10 minute episodes where we just kind of talk about like little controversial stuff we see, like that video you posted, you shared on here
Yeah.
tonight. Like that's one we'll just jump on. Like, all right, let's make a quick little discussion
Right.
on
Right.
our
Yeah, that's what I call bonuses, and we have a couple of
yeah,
those. And
exactly. So we'll have a lot of we gonna have a lot of bonuses. But we definitely been seeing some stuff we wanna talk about. So the podcast is definitely the biggest thing that we got going, but we just ordering a lot of like ordering some pieces here and there and just getting some stuff together so we can get our look and feel how we want it and make
right.
sure we're ready to go all in.
Okay. I like that. And where can people find you?
It's you. Let me look it up real quick because I it's a new page. We just created it. But y'all
Okay.
can follow our regular Instagram page, which is at Mariah Antone, and the word "and" is spelled out, so MARIAHANDTONE. And then our podcast page is the letter UKNOW _ This will be our third season.
Hold on.
Getting ready to
You said UN. Oh, UK.
UKNOW.
UK. Oh, crap.
Yeah, that's my fault. I
U
probably spelled it wrong.
K N O
UK
W.
underscore podcast.
Okay. I found it. I'm
We
just
got
trying
about
to.
16 followers on there. We ain't even dropped nothing yet, so I can tell. I know some people waiting, and ready to see what we
Yeah.
do. We just had some changes in our life and just figuring some things out and really calculating stuff. But I mean, just again, man, you inspired us and help making us like, you know what, dang, we should come up with our episodes in advance and really like, put some time into it. So like this season is gonna be way different because we gonna post way more content than we've ever
Yeah.
posted. Like we literally building a whole basically every episode is gonna be broken down into reels on our
Okay.
IG page to drive traffic to
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what I'm trying to do with ours, especially the ones that we have videos on. I know we do a lot of audios, but I know we're expanding on the couplings because after this season with the couples, we're um, we're going to contact you guys and we're going to do a game show with some of the couples and have them going against each other and where you guys win prizes.
Okay,
Be a little kind of
I like
risque
that.
type game thing going on. Possibly embarrassing questions and stuff like that. But yeah, we
So
are we're gonna be doing something like that coming up pretty soon. We're gonna get this season out of the way with some couples. But again, I appreciate it, guys. You like you said, you can find them. I typed it in the comments. So anybody that's watching this on YouTube a little bit later or Facebook a little bit later, information is there, guys. Podcast is awesome. Go find it, follow, binge listen. They are hilarious. I love them to death. And so you guys are coming on again, which is
I think it's was that
April
the 15th?
is April the 5th.
Fifth. Okay.
Yep.
So we're and
And
I had a wife with me, so we're gonna be
yeah, yeah,
locked and
yeah, yeah,
loaded
yeah,
together
yeah,
on
yeah,
that one.
yeah, yeah. I'm about to try and pinch my wifey to come on down. She know like I said, she normally is not on this one. She's more on the she's kind of camera shy, so I have to kiss on her cheeks a little bit more to get her.
I got you.
But again, sir, I appreciate it, guys.
Yes, sir.
And
I appreciate you too.
y'all have a great night. Tell the missus I said hello. And I'll see
I
you
will.
soon, man.
All right, brother. I see you soon.
All right.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace.
Ladies, again, um, hopefully some of the information that came out outside of the we had a little side information as well that we talked about. But I do appreciate you guys watching. Share this with other friends that you may find that are in a situation where they are single in a marriage or a relationship. Um, Talk to them. See if they need help. In some cases, that is what's going on. They're just too scared to like go get help and leave because of the kids. And again, like me and Tone was stating, staying with the kids is not a good idea when you're in a toxic relationship because you end up producing toxic kids. And baby, don't be sitting up here talking about no wow. Yeah, that's what I'm about to do next time. Give you some look. You was tired this time, you know. I ain't kiss you on the cheeks this time and get you to come on. But it's okay. It's all right. I got you next time though, baby. So again, guys, we totally appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, give us a follow, hit that like button so that we can start getting that algorithm going. And so you can see a little bit more of us. And we do have other videos on there with great information. We have next Wednesday the good old Dr. Whitney that's throwing those big old words at me that we're gonna have to talk about behind the stage that you know I don't like words and you sitting up here throwing on big old words at me and stuff. That's all right though. I get you back, Miss Whitney. That's okay. I love you though. And with that, guys, peace.